Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves for a journey into the forgotten pages of history, where a simple name became a national phenomenon. Today, we dive deep into the legacy of Gibi, a word that transformed from street slang into the very heartbeat of Brazil's comic book culture. Imagine this: the year is 1939. A black boy, a young newspaper seller, hustling through the bustling streets of Rio and São Paulo, becomes the unlikely symbol of a revolution. He wasn't just a face on the cover, he was the face of a movement, representing the rise of comics in Brazil. A mascot. A hero in his own right. The word Gibi, once a mere label for black boys selling newspapers, transcended time, becoming synonymous with the vibrant world of comics. But how did this word, and this boy, come to define an entire industry? How did Gibi, a character and a publication, captivate hundreds of thousands of readers and leave an indelible mark on Brazilian pop culture? This is more than just a history lesson. This is a bold, untold story of a black boy who broke through the barriers of time, a word that evolved from the streets to the living rooms of millions. Gibi didn't just change comics, he became a symbol of imagination, resilience, and transformation. Join us as we unearth this powerful tale, revealing how a simple magazine became the cornerstone of Brazil's comic book revolution. Watch now and discover how one name changed it all. This is the story of Gibi, and it's one you won't forget. In 1939, the streets of Brazil echoed with the cries of the Gibis, young boys who worked tirelessly to sell newspapers, their voices rising above the urban noise as they peddled the daily news. These children, often black, became a familiar sight in the cities of Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo, embodying resilience and tenacity in a society that frequently overlooked them. And yet, it was this very image of the Gibi, a humble boy selling papers on the streets, that would come to symbolize one of the most influential cultural phenomena in Brazil, comic books. On April 12, 1939, the publishing giant Editora O Globo released a new comic magazine called Gibi. The name was bold, a direct nod to the term used for black boys in the streets, but it was more than just a title, it was a symbol. Every issue featured the image of a young black boy, the embodiment of the Gibi who sold newspapers, proudly displayed on the cover as a mascot. This boy became synonymous with the magazine, his likeness a cheerful and spirited figure, holding up the banner for a new generation of readers. The Gibi magazine was a wild success, selling hundreds of thousands of copies and revolutionizing the Brazilian comic book market. What began as a simple publication quickly grew into something far larger, reshaping how the country consumed comic books. The very word Gibi, once a colloquial term for a black child selling newspapers, was transformed into a national symbol for comic books themselves. In a matter of years, the word Gibi no longer represented a young boy hustling on the streets, but had become the Brazilian term for all comics, a synonym so deeply ingrained that it persists to this day. The boy on the cover of Gibi magazine wasn't just a mascot, he was a bridge between two worlds. He stood at the crossroads of Brazil's urban struggles and its burgeoning love for storytelling through comics. His image, appearing in every issue, connected with a generation of readers who saw in him a reflection of their own lives, scrappy, full of hope, and hungry for stories that spoke to them. As young readers flipped through the pages of Gibi, they weren't just reading about fantastical worlds and heroes, they were witnessing the rise of a cultural icon. The magazine quickly grew into a cultural force. It became a gateway for Brazilian readers to encounter characters from all over the world: Flash Gordon, Mandrake, the Phantom, and more. The publication's eclectic mix of genres and stories offered something for everyone. Whether it was the adventures of American superheroes or the humorous escapades of characters like Donald Duck, Gibi brought an exciting new form of entertainment to Brazilian homes. And at the center of it all was the boy, the Gibi, whose image represented this newfound love for comics. As the magazine's popularity soared, so did the reach of its namesake. Soon, the word Gibi wasn't just the name of a single publication, it became the name for all comic books in Brazil. This transformation of the word itself is a testament to the magazine's impact on Brazilian culture. What had once been a term to describe a young black newspaper vendor became an emblem of imagination, storytelling, and adventure. The boy on the cover had transcended his humble origins to become the face of an entire genre, his legacy etched into the language and hearts of Brazilians. The success of Gibi magazine wasn't just a commercial triumph, it was a cultural revolution. It ignited a passion for comic books that has endured for generations. The magazine's ability to bring American and European comics to Brazilian audiences, while also maintaining a strong identity of its own, set the stage for a comic book industry that would eventually produce legends like Mauricio de Souza. The creator of Turma da Mônica, de Souza himself credits Gibi with inspiring his love for comics, and he, like so many others, grew up referring to all comics as Gibis. But more than that, the boy on the cover of Gibi became a powerful symbol of change. He was the face of a magazine that helped define an era of Brazilian entertainment, but he was also a reminder of the many children whose stories often went untold. The Gibi of the streets, the real-life boys who sold papers and struggled to survive in a rapidly modernizing world, had been transformed into a figure of hope and creativity. Their image, once relegated to the margins, now stood proudly on the cover of a magazine that celebrated the power of stories. Gibi magazine may have ceased publication, but its legacy lives on. The word Gibi continues to be used by millions of Brazilians to describe the comic books they love, a lasting tribute to the boy who once stood on the streets selling newspapers. His spirit, captured in the pages of a magazine that brought joy to so many, remains a powerful reminder of the way stories can transform not just individuals, but entire cultures. The boy on the cover of Gibi may have started as a simple mascot, but he became so much more, a symbol of resilience, imagination, and the enduring power of comics. His story is not just the story of a magazine, but the story of how a word, a symbol, and a child can change the world. Thank you so much for watching this video and diving into the incredible story of Gibi with us. If you enjoyed exploring this piece of comic history, make sure to subscribe to Black People in Comics for more content celebrating the rich legacy of Black characters, creators, and artists in the world of comics. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. And don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support helps us shine a spotlight on stories that matter. Thanks again for being a part of this journey.